What's that? Uh, Playoffs? Don't talk about playoffs. You kidding me? Playoffs? I just hope we can win a game.
Scores! He did it again!
I just killed him. Before the game, I just killed John Madden because of a stink bomb.
Split special teamers, and now Brown is off to the races. Hurdles, kicks him in.
Giants are coming off a worse week than Harvey Weinstein.
Oh, that was the most exciting thing to happen tonight.
Game's over. Game is finally fucking be over.
Ed, you got to turn your mic on. I think. Got his hand on the button.
And now, our feature program.
Hey guys, how you doing tonight?
Hey Travis.
How you doing, Smitty? It's nice to see you this week.
Yeah, I missed last week, but things happen, and I come back this week after a hiatus of a whole off season, and I bring broken headphones.
Yep.
Broken right before we got on air.
Well, it wouldn't be you if something didn't go wrong.
It wouldn't be the show if something go wrong.
Yeah. Well, we're always, you can guarantee that we will always not be on time.
Well, we're not that late.
No, we're only like 7 minutes late tonight, 6 minutes late, so we're okay.
I know. I mean, that you're ready. I mean, that's because who usually makes us late? Oh, it's Travis.
It's usually me. Well, usually I just have to spend 25 minutes adjusting Nate's camera because I don't know how, even though he doesn't move anything, it's always like he's always off to one side or the other.
That is true. And of
course, he's really good at that. So it's.
So I just adjust my own camera to make myself center on YouTube.
Right. How are we looking on YouTube? How we sounding? Do we look sexy?
I don't know. We need Amanda to tell us how we sound.
But we sound sexy. We always sound sexy. This does not look sexy at all.
It looks like you're professional.
Leave it alone.
Just let it be. As long as you can hear us, that's all that matters, right?
Sometimes it doesn't matter if I can hear you.
All right. Well, Chris couldn't make it. He had a slight black toe issue. So hopefully next week he'll be back.
Mm-hmm. Talk about some college football with him.
Yeah, and by next week, actually, I think we have college games start this weekend, if I'm correct, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, Jeremy, which college team did you decide you're going to go with? Now that you're in college country, you have to pick one.
Oh, yeah. Who are you going to follow?
I'm going to go with UMass. Oh, Travis, you're still louder than the rest of us.
All right, let me drop this down a little bit. Maybe that'll help.
I can tell just listening that you're louder than us. But I think UMass is ranked dead last, or the preseason rankings are like dead last.
Dead last.
Yeah, exactly. So the thing is, if I chose a team around here, I'd have to actually watch it. If I choose UMass, everyone goes, "Oh, okay," and just lets it go. Found the loophole to the system.
You should just pick one like the smaller conferences. Obviously, the UMass is a small conference, like Nate and I did with the Fighting Cocks and the Fighting Cockers. And,
yeah. The Raging Cajuns.
Only reason Nate likes them is so he can say Raging Cajuns.
Raging Cajun. And they actually won their thing last year. They won the conference.
Did they end up winning the conference?
Yep, they won. They beat the team that I decided to follow, which was the other Rooster team.
Yeah, they were Fighting Roosters.
That was North Carolina, right?
I don't remember. I'm sure I can look at it on Google and figure out.
Smitty was only there because it's the Raging Cajuns leading team that they always fight for first place with.
Yes, exactly.
What is that called? Their
arch nemesis.
Yes, rivalry. That's the word I was looking for.
That's
I knew somebody would have a big word thesaurus for us.
Yeah, I'm too stuck on comic book lore right now to think of anything besides rivalry. I mean, whatever I just said. So, we're gonna talk anything about football.
Yes.
Oh, should we say that Nate's not gonna be here? Or
yep, Nate's probably in bed right now. I sure hope he's watching.
Oh, he said he probably wouldn't because he hates us. But
yeah.
The thing is, for those that have been listening to you guys for 3 years now, this is year 4, right?
This is year 4, yeah. Nate was one of the original founders with me.
He's the thin of the thick.
he was the thin, I should say.
Yeah,
he became the thick, so he decided to get off.
Yeah.
He should be called thick and thicker. Is what
Yeah,
it is now.
he thought he was starting to compete with me, so he's like, I gotta get off of here. Whoa.
Yeah, so he's doing a lot of things now. So he has regulated himself to a guest spot appearance on the show. So don't expect to see Nate all the time on every episode, but
He'll be here once in a while at least.
Yeah, Travis and Jeremy and myself, I'm pretty sure I'll be here hopefully every time. Besides the vertical.
Yeah,
Smitty was Coastal Carolina
yes.
Chanticleers.
Chanticleers.
Yes, the Coastal Carolina too it was.
Yeah.
I got you covered.
You do, because you know everything. I mean, the fact you even remembered it was a Carolina team.
Yeah.
Blows my mind. I was like, wow.
All right.
Come on, you know me when it comes to random useless knowledge.
He is the king of that.
Well, when it's random useless knowledge, like who won the Heisman or who came in second place Heisman in 1968, I get that. But what the team I was going for last year, that random is just too random.
Come on, I pick, how many random references did I use that one night in Nate's basement? After only listening to every episode once.
If you're talking about the Talking Stuff podcast we did with you, or you're talking about something else you and Nate were doing.
Yes, the Talking Stuff podcast night when it was the three of us.
Yeah.
It was a lot. It was the best show we've had.
It's the three of you guys, and you can find all those shows on Spreaker, Spotify, and anywhere else you get your podcasts. That's a good old time if you want to enjoy some really random stuff to listen to.
Yes, if you want to laugh, just throw it on. There's some you have to pick and choose your times though. There are some that
do not listen to them while kids are around.
That's true. It's definitely an ADHD type show. So.
Yes.
So.
Yes.
Led by the king of the ADHD.
For sure.
All right, so let's talk some football. Let's talk some NFL football. So at 7 o'clock tonight was the real start of the 2022-23 preseason. It started with the Pats and Giants, which are still on. I think they're probably back from halftime now.
They are. We're just under 7 minutes in the third.
Nah. And then the Titans and the Ravens were at 7:30 tonight. So I was looking at the preseason schedule for this season. And I kind of noticed that, like, after this week, like, there's a Thursday night game, a couple of Friday night games, and a whole bunch of games on Saturday. That's what I'm used to during the preseason. But all of a sudden, I'm looking at, like, next week's, and there's Thursday night games, there's Friday night games. There's, I think, a couple of Saturday games, a whole bunch of Sunday games, and then there's 2 Monday games. Does anybody else remember preseason being more than just Thursday through Saturday?
But they usually had games on Sundays.
Did they?
It's just they didn't have Sunday night. They had Sunday daytime. They had the 2 daytime games.
Right.
See, now I'm trying. Now last year I don't remember it all. I mean, but I know when I first started watching football, back when
back when the dinosaurs were still roaming.
I'd go to bed and wake up and I'd see the sports paper and tell me who won the preseason game. So there's that. But I remember the games initially was a Saturday and Sunday.
Okay.
Saturday. But then last I don't know, decade or so, they started playing some on Thursday.
Yeah.
I don't remember any on Friday. I definitely don't remember any on Sunday nights.
Okay, so quick reference: preseason week 1 in 2010, we had Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and Monday.
Did we?
Yes, we did.
Oh, that's weird because I don't remember ever there being like Sunday and Monday games before. Maybe I just haven't paid attention to those games.
So week 1 in 2010, we had 3 games on Thursday.
Okay.
3 games on Friday. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 on Saturday. 2 on Sunday. So 1 o'clock, 1 noontime, 1 afternoon game, and then 1 Monday night.
Well, it makes sense.
And what year was that?
2010.
Oh, geez.
Because they do show the preseason games on TV, so it's about revenue. And
the fact is, NFL, even a preseason game, still draws in more revenue than almost any other sports.
Right, because
even in the postseason.
Exactly. So, I mean, if you can watch your team, and I don't think that a preseason game like in Miami area is going to be broadcast on Fox throughout the nation, but it's going to be played in the local stations for sure, I would think.
Yeah.
And that's get you excited about your team. And you're in preseason too. We're preseason fans right now, so we're in our preseason of being fans.
Yes.
Gotta get back to our way we watch football. Get our beer, our whiskey, our wings. Start to do that kind of stuff. Get back into. Okay,
I've already started collecting all my nacho chips, my nacho cheese, my salsa.
Yeah, we got to do our preseason fan work to make sure that we're ready for the season when it hits here.
Make sure we're full season shape.
Yes, we don't show up on the very first game of the year, the actual game that counts, and we go, I forgot the buffalo sauce.
Yep.
Because we practiced with preseason about what we needed to have. So I appreciate the NFL doing this for us.
So it seems like depending on the week throughout the preseasons, there's always been a few weeks with games on throughout a Thursday through Monday.
Okay.
It's not every weekend that it's normally not like every week does it do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, I always just thought it was different because I don't remember them before being like that. So it was just like, well, I got to share this with the guys because I don't remember it. But apparently I'm wrong.
Now they dropped down to 3 games, so they're probably trying to 3 weeks. They're probably trying to spread out as many as they can on TV to really
that makes
push
sense.
that agenda to really have it say, see, we even in 3 weeks we can still maintain that revenue because all of these games are now nationally televised.
Yeah,
or most of them
are. Yeah. Yeah, because I think the Raiders game, not the Raiders game, but the Ravens, Titans-Ravens game, I think that's on Fox tonight, or is that on Nickelodeon? Because I saw Nickelodeon was playing the game already.
Of course they are. Nickelodeon is going to be, for this current generation, what Madden was for the older generation.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Madden games suck now.
No, yeah. Fox has got baseball, at least up here. Let's see. What is Nickelodeon, I guess?
We have a station called Bally or Rally that shows all the Atlanta Braves baseball games.
Yeah. For some reason, like, they think in New England we actually want to watch baseball, even though they suck.
Well, they beat Atlanta.
I got Nickelodeon as open season, so maybe I was wrong. Maybe they're both on ABC, depending on where you are, you get certain ones.
Probably.
But it's just weird because, Titans, you figure, well, they're both AFC teams. They're all AFC teams right now, so. No, because the Giants are in NFC.
The Giants are NFL.
Yeah.
The other teams are in the AFC because, those are.
That's all right. That's okay. All right. What else do I want to talk about? Oh, so I've seen reports. We all know that Mr. Moonball has left the Seahawks.
Oh, okay. I know that you need that. But before you do, I'm sorry because I want to talk to somebody about the preseason really quick.
All right. Well, you need to talk more.
I am sorry. Well, I didn't know we were going to that directly. I know it was coming next, and this is for you two because, Patriots fan and stuff.
Yeah,
for YouTube
right now.
It's all for the YouTubes.
Did your starting quarterback play today?
No.
Do you think he should have at least a couple of snaps?
Yes.
Out of that area, it seems like he's not that comfortable right now. It seems that's what.
They probably should have tossed him out there for like a series, but there's a good and bad that you could happen for that because he went from a very intricate offense run by offensive coordinator who has been with one of the top tier quarterbacks that ever played the game.
Well,
now they're now dealing with 2 coaches that have never coached a day of offense in their life, now running the offense. So they've dumped because those coaches can't coach a very intricate offense. They've dumbed it down to the point where he is frustrated at practices because he doesn't feel like he's building on anything. He feels like he's going backwards. And so now there's been problems at practice because they've dumbed it down so much for the coaches that he expects his receivers to make different reads because that's the way they were coached last year. And so he's having a real problem connecting with his receivers and all the off-season work he did, expecting they were going to build off of last season's playbook. And now they're gone to a totally separate playbook, and Now this rookie QB is actually showing promise because they've dumbed it down so much.
Okay.
Well, the other issue is that offense was developed over a good 20-year stretch, because that is the same offense that was run by
Charlie Weiss.
Charlie Weiss back in the early 2000s.
Mm-hmm.
Then that same offense was passed on to the most previous offense coordinator, Josh McDaniels.
Because Josh was learned underneath Charlie
on
Weiss.
To Bill O'Brien when McDaniels left for Denver.
Mm-hmm.
And then so Bill O'Brien ran that for a few years. And then when McDaniels came back, he continued to run that same offense. So that offense, it started out as a simple offense, but it just grew over the 20 years into a well overcomplicated, complex system where, how many times did they bring in kind of like a top tier-ish receiver that could never seem to catch on to it?
Yeah, he couldn't grasp the intricacies of it.
So that's what they're trying to do. But unfortunately, because who Mac Jones is and his football intelligence, which is why they liked him, because of his football intelligence, it now makes it so it's dumbing it down in his mind. So he doesn't think that the progress, the way they're going, is a good idea.
Okay, that makes sense. I didn't know all that, but okay, thanks.
Yeah, I get because I'm listening to Sports Talk Radio up here, so I get all of like their inputs, and you got the guys in the field talking about it almost daily. It's a whole cluster F, and it's gotten to the point where when does Belichick say, "Okay, we've tried it your way, learn the old way. This has worked for us. This worked for him. He excelled in this as we got through the season. He got better and better at it."
Right.
You got to figure out how to learn it. Now, he knows it. You got to learn it. You're a coach, for Christ's sakes.
Yeah, I don't think Matt Patricia would have a hard time learning that offense.
Well, he's the one who's had the headset on almost all season so far, so.
Yeah, but I wonder if it was the fact is that Belichick wanted to be able to interchange them, and Joe Judge couldn't comprehend that offense. Because think about it.
He was a special teams coach.
Yeah, exactly. He was never like a coordinator in general, Joe Judge. But what's his name is freaking like a nuclear engineer, like a nuclear physicist or some crap like that. He's very intelligent.
Yeah. Yeah.
Matt Patricia.
That's the word we're looking for. Oh, talking about other preseason, for $120 million, you too can have the fastest wide receiver in the NFL tell everybody that the quarterback from the Miami Dolphins is the most accurate quarterback he's ever played for.
That wasn't in the script at all.
that was a meme I saw earlier.
Yes.
Oh, was it? Yeah. Well, the thing is, when you look at the actual percentages of accuracy last year, Tua was more accurate by 0.2%. So just saying. He might not be the most accurate quarterback ever, but Hill's only played with 3.
Exactly.
So,
for $120 million, I'll tell you whatever you want to.
I will too.
Oh, I'm sorry. He has a degree in aeronautical engineering, so
yes.
Rocket science.
Same difference, yes.
Same, but it's close enough.
Yeah, but Tua is looking good in their practices, but enough about that.
All right, so
you had a question about somebody.
Yeah, so we know
Russell Wilson.
Yeah, Russell Wilson has left the Seahawks. So right now, the reports not coming from the Seahawks at all. Geno Smith, which is actually surprising here, is on slate to be the starting QB.
That's not surprising.
But Pete Carroll hasn't yet to confirm anything and says the QB competition isn't over. So knowing Geno Smith, we've all watched him play. We've all watched him fail.
We watched him get drafted and be a first-round draft or early second-round draft pick and do nothing.
Right. Do you think he actually...
He looks confused.
Do we think
he was drafted by the Buffalo Bills?
Yep.
Geno Smith. Go ahead.
Do we think that he will actually fit in the Pete Carroll's offense? Because he tends to run a very wide open, throw the ball deep kind of offense. Or will it be a completely different kind of offense we're going to see come out of the Seahawks this year than we've seen in the previous, 5 years, 6 years?
Try 8.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to have to be a different kind of offense, but I think he can run it well. And the reason I do not like Geno Smith is because Geno Smith played 3 games against the Miami Dolphins during his career in Buffalo. And he won 3 games against the Miami Dolphins as a career in Buffalo. They were not a great team and at that time, and somehow they beat the crap out of the Miami Dolphins. So I blame Geno Smith. For some reason, he has off his number. So I hope he fails miserably and he gets fired. But who's the backup? And who's
Drew Lock is the backup, which was traded back to Seattle from Denver, which is why Geno Smith is kind of that. Everyone's shooing him in because he's been in the system for a few years as a backup already. So he knows the system.
Do you think he's a better quarterback than Lockett?
Drew Lock, I think they're both garbage.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
it's which dumpster is the better fit at this point for them. It seems
I think they're just holding out, hoping that San Francisco drops Garoppolo.
Yeah,
Garoppolo has split wins with him quite often.
Yeah, I think Garoppolo's a better quarterback than both of them, and I think Seattle should do what they have to do, them or Cleveland, and grab Jimmy G.
But the thing is, Seattle's not going to trade them to, or San Francisco's not going to trade them to Seattle because it's in the same NFC whatever East or West, whatever NFC West or whatever it is.
I think so. I'm almost positive it's the West.
It's the West. It's the NFC West.
Yeah.
So you're not going to trade a quarterback that could beat you to one of the 3 other teams.
Actually, that might be the best thing for San Francisco to do because Jimmy G gets hurt 4 or 5 games of the season anyways, and he's done for the year. So it might be actually a win-win for the San Francisco.
I think two teams can do mediocre. I think they're both going to be 9-8.
You might be giving them too much credit. I haven't looked at what other conferences they play this or whatever their parts of the division they play, but
yeah, I don't. But to answer your question, how are we fitting to Pete Carroll's offense? He won't. I mean, he's a quarterback and he does some great, wonderful things. He has an arm. He has, but he's not the Pete Carroll
type of quarterback.
That fits the system. They may change the system around him, but
they did for Russell Wilson.
Yes. And Locke and him are different quarterbacks too, so they got to figure out who the starting quarterback is because they're gonna have to figure it out, their offense around that quarterback.
All right, so
I agree.
We had a bunch of QBs. We had a bunch of other QBs move around this past season, right? Trubisky went to Pittsburgh.
No, I never heard of any quarterbacks moving this offseason.
Mayfield went to the Carolina. Mariota went to Atlanta. Ryan went to the Indy, and Watson, who has been suspended for at least 6 games as of right now, is in Cleveland.
And that's just to name a few of them.
Right. But those are the more high-profile QBs, I guess would be a good way to put it. Of them, who's up there? Who is going to thrive and who's going to crash and burn?
And not just of them,
other than Watson.
All the new, anyone, even if they weren't named.
Because Watson is only going to maybe see the field for. He's suspended for 6 games, but he probably won't play that 7th game. So he's maybe going to see 9 games all season.
And that's if Goodell doesn't suspend him for a year.
Well, no. So Goodell assigned a third-party person to evaluate. The NFL is pushing for a full season.
Mm-hmm.
Watson's side just came out and said that they'd accept a 8-game suspension with a $500,000 fine.
Yeah.
Or the $5 million with a $5 million fine, not 500, $5 million fine.
I mean, I know he got a good contract, but I don't think his contract was that good.
No, not that good. So he's trying to coax them into somewhat of a deal so he doesn't miss the whole season.
Right.
I think because the biggest issue with how they wrote his contract. If he's suspended for a season, he's only going to lose out on like $2 million this year. Mm-hmm. But the issue is if he fights it in court, they're going to put a stay on the suspension, which is now going to move it till next season. And now that's where he starts making a shit ton of money.
Yeah, it goes from $2 million this year to what?
Like 40-something mil.
Yeah, it's something ridiculous.
Next year. So it's like you either accept the year suspension, lose out on a few mil, or you fight it, hoping you win. But the fact is, even if you're suspended half the season next year, that's still a lot more money you're losing out on. And when you're suspended, the team can't pay you even if they try to. If they do, the team will be fined, and he'll be fined all the money he makes.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, they apparently seem to be okay with him because they are starting him in the preseason game.
Well, they're hoping that he's not suspended all for the whole season. The thing is, after the preseason, he has no contact with the team. He can't go to practices. He can't do anything like that till his suspension's up. Yeah. So if you want to have him and the starters actually in a like game speed, actual game kind of thing out there, you need to have him play.
I guess that makes sense. So is that who you're voting to either crash and burn or have the best game? Or
I'm voting Matt Ryan to have the best in Indy, and I'm voting Watson to crash and burn because the fact is he's not going to play most of the year, if at all any.
Yeah, I don't know. I know Trubisky is leading over in Pittsburgh, but I know they got that younger guy, that rookie who is Pickett, I think is his name.
Yeah, Kyle Pickett.
Right. And I don't know if Mayfield is actually going to start over in Carolina. So I think by game 4, Mayfield starts for Carolina. And I think Mayfield has the best year. That's what I think. But also that dude, what's his name, from Jacksonville? He had the mustache, and he went to the Eagle.
Minshew.
Oh, my God, love him.
Minshew Mania.
Yeah. And also what's happening to the Saints. What's his name is going to become a tight end?
You mean Taysom Hill's going back to tight end?
Yeah, he's going to be their tight end now and not playing quarterback. So, I don't know. I just I think Ryan will have the best year with Indiana. I think Indiana.
That team was stacked. That team didn't make the postseason because of Carson Wentz.
Mm-hmm.
Where do Wentz go? Commanders?
Yes.
There's another team. Is he going to do well in the Commander? I don't think the Commander's going to do well at all.
I don't think he's going to do well at all.
So it looks like our sister stream, Comic Book Issues, is on talking to us. He's very interested in telling us about all of our names we're getting wrong.
No, I've said all those names correctly. I just didn't know who he assigned.
What names is he talking about?
I don't
about
know.
Green Bay. What does he know?
Well, no, the person that Goodell assigned was the former district attorney for New Jersey, apparently.
Yes.
Oh, a Jets fan, possibly. So, someone that's used to losing.
Yes. All right. So, Smitty, do you know who decided they were? Marshall Lynch and Frank Gore.
Yeah, I don't know if you want to bring them two up or not.
Sure. You probably know more about this. I only know is that they got a couple running backs got in trouble this week.
Yes, they retired. They're Hall of Fame bound running backs, and that's Marshall Lynch and Frank Gore. Marshall Lynch got a DU or driver under the influence. Haven't looked more to see if it's actually a drinking or marijuana or whatever, but he definitely got pulled over and cited for it. Frank Gore, on the other hand, was arrested because he apparently, this is what I read, was dragging some woman across the parking lot by her hair while she was naked.
Oh.
What? Where's the video of this one?
I am telling you. Now, I don't know how that can be misconstrued. I don't know if he's a big dude. He's a big dude. He's a strong guy. So I guess the question is, these are two soon-to-be Hall of Famers, I would assume, running backs that recently retired.
Yeah.
Yes, Marshall Lynch has been out for a couple of years, but do you think they needed to stay in football so they could hit people? I mean, do you think they need that outlet? I mean,
Well,
Frank Gore stayed forever.
He did.
yeah. So I don't. Marshall Lynch, he probably got drunk and decided, yeah, I can drive home. Bad idea. You made that kind of money. You should have saved some money up to get an Uber to get you a ride home when you've been out drinking.
Someone to drive you around.
Yeah.
Yes.
And Frank Gore, he probably needed some more time in hitting people.
Well, the issue is Frank Gore wasn't even playing most of the time with the teams he was on the past few years.
That's
He just
true.
kind of sat around and collected a paycheck.
He did pretty good for Miami, but that was the last time he really did anything there.
Yeah.
So, but I also a serious question about them is they both got arrested now.
Yeah.
This can't be the first time they both have done something like this. This is the first time they got caught. You think there have been other incidents where?
Well, I think Marshall Lynch has been
caught.
caught drinking and driving before, at least once, right? Right, Jeremy?
I believe so. I believe Marshawn Lynch has a tendency for DUIs.
Right, and Frank Gore being 38 or whatever, I can't believe it's the first time he physically assaulted a female. I mean, that can't not be the first time. I guess it should be.
Probably the first time it's caught on video.
All of our sister streams are here now. The Talking Stuff podcast is on too, huh?
I'm just like, it just blows my mind that these athletes get to the certain when they retire and this kind of stuff happens.
Oh,
and it's like it's a one-time event. I mean, how mad do you have to be at someone to grab them by their hair and drag them across the
Well, I want to know what happened before that happened, because usually he's always been like a huge advocate for like women and whatnot. So it just kind of surprised me. The only reason I could think of that I would ever drag a woman by her hair across a parking lot is if like she pissed on me.
Or maybe she didn't piss on him and he wanted to be pissed on.
Maybe.
Maybe
she's shitting my Cheerios.
Man that people thought was a woman that identified as a man, and that's how they got off, by being dragged across the parking lot naked.
Yeah. They're in all weird.
I'd assume you could get some asphalt burns from that.
Probably.
WWE.
Yeah, I don't know much more
How
about
mad
this.
do you have to be WWE female wrestler mad? All right, let's talk about the one thing that Nate hates, so we can actually talk about it now that he's not here. Tom Brady.
He's gonna jump on now.
Tom Brady was absent from practice today, with an excused absence by the team, and it's for personal reasons, and he won't be returning to the team until August 20th. So basically, he's got 10 days off. And there's like massive conflicting reports. So one, we have the media saying that this was a planned absence, nothing's wrong with his family, that his health is fine, that their health is fine. But then you have his like defensive players that are coming on and saying in interviews that we know what's actually going on, and we're just praying for him. So makes you question which one is actually true. The player who hasn't been told whatever they're going to say
spin to the media,
or the media who's been told by their PR person of what the media needs to say, basically out there. I tend to say, well, if they're praying for him, well, is he going on vacation with 2 kids and his wife, which is a good reason to pray for a guy, right, Jeremy?
Exactly.
Or is it possible they're actually having the problems at home that all the mags from Men in Black are reporting?
No, because if that was the case, he'd be spending more time at the facility, not time at home.
Well, the talk is that they might be getting divorced, kind of thing.
Well, that's a signing on the dotted line kind of work. That's nothing
and
else.
That takes more than 10 days.
Yeah.
Lawyers do all that work, not him.
Right. So I know that they weren't expecting him. They were going to have him sit out during the scrimmage with the Dolphins this week anyhow. They said that prior. I know he played a little. Like after he threw the ball around, but he wasn't supposed to be doing that.
Yeah,
so
they said he wasn't playing the first 2 preseason games anyways. He knew he wasn't playing in them.
Right. So I think let him go, because I mean he's Tom Brady. He don't need to be at preseason. He don't need to practice. He'll be fine. But they're praying for him. You said that his mom was probably sick again. I guess his mom. I didn't know his mom got sick.
His mom had cancer and fought off cancer.
The year they went to the year they played the 28-3 against Atlanta game.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
She didn't make it to any of the games that year except for the Super Bowl because she had cancer and was recovering and whatnot.
Okay. So
Yeah, that was the first game she made it to, and they ended up winning that game. And it was like everybody came over and gave her a hug.
But the thing is, I mean, I don't know, but 10 days off, if you find out your mother has cancer, or if that's what it is, it don't seem like a 10-day off thing. I mean, if she has cancer and she's on hospice, and it's a kept secret, and she's about to pass, then you know, I need the time to go do this.
Yeah.
But I don't think that'd be kept secret, so it's very hard to understand what's going on. Maybe it's the family. You know, it's
because the coach, GM, someone came out from Tampa saying that was those days were already okayed off before he even came back this year. So it was something that.
Oh, well, of course, because you know
it's always the line. But it said it was a family.
Because Ross, the owner of the Dolphins, can't watch any games, do anything. He's suspended. So Tom needs to go see him in his yacht, pull him out off the coast to talk about next year becoming his quarterback.
Yeah,
that's what's going on. They're hanging out.
That's why they spent all this money on all those offensive weapons this offseason.
Yeah, so
for next year for Brady.
That's what's going on. So that's where Tom Brady is. He's out with Stephen Ross, hanging out on the yacht for 10 days, off of shore, so they don't get caught.
All right, so sticking with people that played for the Patriots, James White this morning, 3-time Super Bowl champion, retired after spending 8 seasons in the NFL. He was hurt for most of last season, and I think he decided when he was practicing, and like everybody, he would only practice for a little bit at a time. So like everybody's like, "Oh, he looks great." This, that, and the other thing. Starting to wonder that if he didn't feel like he was doing as well as he should be.
No, there's reports coming out that his hip was still, even at practice, he could go, but he couldn't go all the time, and his hip was still bothering him.
Yep.
Due to the injury from last year, and instead of trying to rehab it longer and try to fight through the pain, he decided to call it a career.
So he realizes there's about 50 years left in his life after football.
Yes, he took the, hey, I've made some money, I have money saved, I can retire and do whatever I want.
That's a good man. Smart, very smart man.
And he got 3 rings. What running back in today's modern NFL can say they have 3 rings with the same team?
What person can say they have 3 rings with any different teams? I mean, come on. What kind of question is that?
Well, like in the modern NFL, because you have people like Deion Sanders, not Deion Sanders, what a running back, but Emmitt Smith, who has like multiple rings. But it's like
he has 3 rings.
Yeah.
Okay, no, I'm just saying, name somebody.
Somebody else.
Human being in today's NFL that has 3 rings isn't Tom Brady.
LeGarrette Blount, doesn't he? Or he's retired now, isn't he?
Yes.
But he chased down rings. What's his name just went to Buffalo. He's chasing a 3rd ring.
Yeah, but he hasn't got 3. He only got 2. My point is, what kind of question was that?
Yeah, it's hard for most players don't have multiple rings.
No, but Jimmy G has some.
Yeah, Jimmy G has 2 rings.
Yeah, for sitting on that bench. He was a very good. He's a very good bench warmer.
Yep.
So Smitty, you'll like this. You like this. So in James White's career, he had 593 touches. Guess how many fumbles he had?
I saw that. He's had no fumbles at that point. He's had fumbles, but not to that point. I saw that. You showed that. I saw that on your thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I shared that. That's a crazy stat.
It is. That way he started and he had like 500 something carries and not the first fumble. Then he finally had a fumble because I had to look at his stats. But that's amazing. That's amazing.
Yeah, and do you know?
Did I read that wrong? Remember? Wait, did he never have a fumble his whole career?
No, he never had a fumble his whole career.
Yeah, he was always the guy that you could count on not to fumble the ball. And the best part is he's a running back, but has more receiving yards than rushing yards, and has more pass catches than he does have running attempts.
Okay, so he's a utility back.
Yeah, well, he was a 3rd down back, and he was like go-to 3rd down back. You knew where he was going to be open, and he was going to get you a 1st down and 3rd down, basically. He was And in the 28-3 game, he was the walk-off touchdown in overtime.
Oh, okay.
He is just and he's a phenomenal guy too. All right, so us knowing who he was and whatnot, do you think he's a Pats only Hall of Fame, or is he an NFL Hall of Fame?
No, he's
Pats only.
Pats only.
Pats only.
Yeah. I mean, he was great for sure, but you have to be Barry Sanders level at 9 years retiring to get the Hall of Fame, and he's not that. I mean, you just don't have the numbers. I know he didn't fumble. I know he was the hero for the Super Bowls.
So he does have one career fumble, but I think it was off a reception that he fumbled. It wasn't off a run.
So he has great hands and stuff, and he's definitely helped the team. But I do not see. I mean, he may make the Hall of Fame like when we all die, and it's like they're running out of people to put in the Hall of Fame. But I think he makes.
They'll never run out of people to put in the Hall of Fame. That's the issue.
True. I mean, he was, but I just don't think he played long enough to with the stats he has.
He doesn't even. He barely has. He doesn't even have 4,000 yards at either.
Right. So
there's no way he's making. He's a great utility back. He's just there's no real spot in the NFL Hall of Fame for a player like that.
Yeah.
Right. And they should start one though. Utility back.
They're becoming a lot more common, and these guys are great game-changing players for their team. So I have a feeling that it won't be long till we see those kind of guys that have what? Jeremy, how many yards does he have total between rushing and passing?
Less than 7,000.
Yeah, so you're gonna see those kind of players start being mentioned more and more. I have a feeling because
don't get me wrong.
There's a lot of them out there that are starting to be. The teams are saying like, no, he's a Hall of Famer. He may not have all these yards in rushing or all these yards in passing, but they're game changers, and that's what the NFL Hall of Fame was supposed to be about, was game changers, and that became a stat thing.
Well, you're never gonna have someone with those kind of stats, because the fact is he only really had one big breakout known for game in the postseason.
Yeah,
and the thing is, if he played a few more years, we might have that good argument about it. But like James Brown, I think he played 8 years, but his stats were unbelievable. Barry Sanders, I think he played 9, maybe something like that. His stats were unbelievable.
Yeah,
and, I mean, even though he didn't win the Super Bowls, but he made his team viable and competed in the other team because he was on it. And I can't say the same thing about James White.
All right, so let's go step that one. So every year, us being football fans and us living in different parts of the country, we all get to deal with other teams' fans from everywhere, right? Especially you, Smith, because you're down in Florida. Who do you think is the worst fan base out there? Like, who's the most annoying? Who's the most obnoxious fan base out there that you've dealt with?
Cowboys.
My personal thing, or like because I'm
personally,
biased?
he thinks New England.
No. Most New England fans are pretty humble and understandable, and they know when they get beat, and they say what's up. Okay, we got beat. It's cool, but they also know they have a power team, at least for 20 years. Because they probably realized how shitty they were forever, so they understand how much it sucks to be on that end. It's probably why they're from Boston. I mean, Boston people, for the most part, are relatively good people.
They just hate everyone.
Yep.
Yes, and rightfully so.
And we hate everybody equally.
From my experience in the different fans, the most aggravating fans that I've dealt with have to be Raider fans.
Raider fans?
But the ones I hate, Raiders, but the ones I hate the most are the Jets fans. They're just so. I think I told you all this before. It was.
Well, of course, Jeremy posted the meme, I think, earlier today. I was like, you know what? I can agree with some of these.
I can't agree with half of it because Jets wasn't on there. Jets should be on there because I remember when they were doing their draft and
the GETS guy.
I don't know. And then Dan Marino came out to announce the Miami's draft pick, number 1. This is about 10 years ago, or whatever, and he was booed. Marino was retired 10 years by this time. He was being booed by the New York fans.
Wow.
And
Of
I'm
course
like,
he was. Because once a
That's-
Dolphin, always a Dolphin.
yeah, but he's retired. I tell you right now, if I was like in Jim Kelly, who destroyed us a lot,
Yeah.
or Tom Brady came out in there, and he's retired, I'm not booing that man. I'm gonna because he was amazing. They were amazing players. I ain't gonna boo a legend like that ever. Now, when he's playing, I'm gonna boo him and hope he breaks a leg. But once he retires, then there's no reason. But the Jet fans were booing like crazy. I'm like, those are some really classless sons of guns. But most of the
Philly's
Raider
pretty
fans,
bad too.
Yeah.
most
Philly-
Raider fans I've known are pretty intolerable for the most part.
really, the most obnoxious fans I've dealt with recently are Buffalo Bills fans.
They have become aggravated.
They have become the most aggravating things because they think they're all big and bad because they finally got a decent team for the first time in, what, 25 years? 30 years?
Hey, I got to admit, Bills Mafia does know how to party.
They do. But if you even, they're just like super obnoxious right now. Like Brady left and they're like, oh, it's our time. It's our time. Like we were like, yes, we're going to win fans, but we weren't like jumping through tables and like in your face.
Think about where they live. There's nothing else to do up there.
Yeah.
I've went to a few games at that stadium, and that thing is, I mean, I've seen bigger high school stadiums in Texas than that thing. And not like the big name stadiums, like just the average size stadiums. It's like those things. That stadium in Buffalo is a shithole. So you have to be drunk as a skunk and just to even bother to sit in those stands for that long.
You're right about the Buffalo fans because I have seen videos of Buffalo fans that have made this statement. More than one person, more than one Buffalo fan, more than one occasion made this statement. Not exactly like this, but close to it. Tom Brady left the Patriots to go to Tampa Bay because he knew Buffalo was going to have Allen and they were going to destroy New England from this point on, and Tom Brady wasn't no part of it. That's what the Buffalo fans are thinking. And I'm like, oh my God, shut up.
Yeah. It's the only reason why Brady beat them when they had Josh Allen and beat him by a lot.
Isn't Brady still like the third most winning quarterback in Buffalo Stadium?
No, he's the first. He's surpassed Jim Kelly. Jim Kelly is the most winning quarterback in Buffalo Bills Stadium, and was. And then I think Tom Brady actually has more winnings in Buffalo Bills Stadium than Jim Kelly.
Yeah, because it's a percentage thing. Because obviously Jim Kelly plays in Buffalo and loses in Buffalo, and when Tom Brady goes,
I'm pretty sure Tom Brady has more wins in Buffalo Stadium than Jim Kelly did.
Oh, that ain't right. It can't be right, can it?
No, it's not.
Jim Kelly was only a QB for 5 seasons. Tom Brady has played a total of...
Well, like 22 games in Buffalo?
Well, you got to remember, it was 20 seasons of two times a year.
Yeah, but one was in Buffalo, one was in New England. So 20 games. He played 20 games in Buffalo.
No, he
didn't win them all.
He's played more than that. Oh, yeah, he's won every time he went to Buffalo.
Oh, I forgot. It's not Miami.
Yeah, Miami is split.
Yeah,
I think he's the most winningest quarterback in Buffalo.
No, Jim Kelly holds the record with 58 wins.
Okay,
that makes sense.
Followed by Joe Ferguson at 43.
I think Tom Brady is the most winning percentage-wise. How many times he's played in the stadium compared to how many times he's won in the stadium.
Maybe
his percentage is the highest.
Yeah, because
Allen is next at 17, and then Brady has 16.
16 out of 20.
16?
So, yeah, but 16 out of 20 games.
Yeah.
Yeah. So after that is Fitzpatrick and Tyrod Taylor at 14, Drew Bledsoe at 14, and Doug Flutie at 13.
Yeah,
the flutester. All right.
So Brady is fourth now. He was third on that list.
Yes.
If he ever plays Buffalo again, maybe we can get another victory. But
he played Buffalo last year.
Josh Allen's gonna keep putting wins up. So
percentage wise, though, I don't think anybody's ever going to beat Brady because 16 out of 20 wins. 16 wins out of 20 games or 16 wins out of 19 games, whatever it is.
Yeah, I don't think they counted last season because he played against them last season, and maybe Buffalo went down to him.
Yeah, Buffalo went down to.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so Smitty.
Oh yes, my question of the week.
Do you have your question of the week?
It's a little bit different than what I usually ask, like the hypothetical ones. But it's beginning of the preseason and stuff. So
yeah.
What team or teams do you think people are sleeping on this year? What I mean by that is not, a Jacksonville team, but a team that for some reason that was relatively good last year, cusp of playoff, if not playoff or better, and you just don't hear about them. What
The
team
Raiders.
People are just sleeping on.
The Raiders.
I yes and no. So I don't think it's the Raiders. I was looking at it earlier. Let me pull up the teams real quick.
Well, while you're pulling up, I'm gonna give you what I think. I think Cincinnati Bengals. They're not being talked about at all, and they were the AFC champions. I mean, and they played a really good Super Bowl. Came very close.
Yeah. If Burrows had another second.
The Raiders was a great team last year. They made the playoffs, and they added one hell of a wide receiver, maybe the best wide receiver in there.
Well, the problem is they're all talking because, damn offensive coordinator from the Patriots is now the head coach.
Josh McDaniels.
Josh McDaniels.
But no one's talking about them being a
maybe not
playoff contender.
Maybe not down there, but that's all
nationally. National news. No one's really talking about them.
I mean, there's certain teams you're not going to hear about, like the Jets, about the Houston, because they're just probably not going to do well.
They're dumpster fires.
Right, but there's teams that were in the playoffs or close to playoffs that just suddenly you just don't hear about.
Yeah, the Bengals is a good one. They've kind of
Browns
flown under the radar.
The Bengals I don't hear any talk about at all. There has been zero talk about them.
There was a lot of people crowning the Browns originally, and now they've all backtracked in a hurry.
Yeah, because they basically imploded on themselves. The Broncos, I could see as a sleeper team. And the Raiders, basically. I think the Raiders have the potential to be a contender this year.
Oh, I do too.
For the bowl.
Yeah, the AFC is going to be.
But they really have to go through the Chargers.
Yeah,
that's who they got to beat this year. They have to beat the Chargers.
I don't think Kansas City is going to take much of a step back. So that's another. I mean, the whole AFC West is going to be. It's going to.
I have a feeling. Actually, the Kansas City is going to take a big step back this year.
Well, obviously we'll get a chance to talk about that when we pick our wins and losses for the year.
Yeah. Yes. Oh, we need that website, Smitty, so that way we can do that one of the following weeks. That website you found last year.
Because we were going to. Travis was talking about doing that. I'm like, we have to do it through that website. That way we get a good actual run out, and all the teams all the records actually match what they should.
Yeah, I'm almost positive. I have a really bad feeling that Kansas City is going to take a huge step back this year because
that's a good feeling. That's good. We want them to suck.
Right, but because they got rid of Hill, because they don't have that, they needed Hill. They needed Hill to be that draw guy. And now that he's not there, they only have two other receivers that are semi-decent, but nobody that you have to double cover now.
So is that the team, for the second question I have, what team do you think are being overhyped? Do you think Kansas City is being overhyped?
Oh, yeah.
I think Kansas City still.
They crowned them too early.
I think the Rams. But that division has kind of fallen apart, so they should still win that division.
I personally think my Dolphins are being overhyped.
I was thinking the Dolphins, but
they were getting beat up a lot. But these videos out lately with Tua doing what he's doing, and then all these people say, "Well, you know what? He looks great. They got this great stuff. They're going to do wonderful stuff." Like, yeah, they probably are.
Everybody looks good in camp.
That's true, but I mean,
that's not true. New England doesn't.
No, but that's also because New England fans and the press around here are super critical because we've been winning for 20 years.
But seriously, it seems like because I see a lot of Miami stuff, but outside of Miami, for me, an overhyped team seems to be the Denver Broncos.
Really?
Yeah, I was gonna say Denver. They're expecting Russell Wilson to go in there and change that team from a losing team to all of a sudden Super Bowl winners instantly.
I'm not saying that they're not going to be
good.
You
mean that they expect him to do what the Mr. Forehead did?
Peyton Manning?
Yes. I like calling him Mr. Forehead, though.
I like Mr. Forehead, too. But I mean, there's a lot of. I mean, who knows what's going to happen? I don't know what. Next week we'll discuss what teams we think last year that made the playoffs are going to miss, and what teams last year that missed the playoffs are going to make it. How about that?
Yep.
Sounds good.
Okay.
All right.
Oh, so I saw the news. I think you might actually be able to make sports bets sitting in your basement this coming year.
Oh, yes, but they're going to charge me like 30% up here. So it's actually going to be cheaper still to drive, even with gas prices, to drive the 20 minutes up to New Hampshire and make this my sports bets. It's like charging 20% off of wins, which is the highest.
Do they give you 20% back if you lose?
No. So 20% of taxes of your winnings, if you make your bets in Massachusetts, is 3 times the amount as if you went up to New Hampshire. It's only 5% up in New Hampshire. And it's 7% down in Rhode Island. So Massachusetts thinks they're actually going to make a ton of money. They don't realize that all these people that have been making these sports bets this whole entire time are not going to make them from Massachusetts. They're going to drive up to New Hampshire. They're going to still drive down the Rhode Island. It's going to be those
last-minute spur of the moments. Oh, I want to make this bet. I know I'm going to win, so at least I can make it because I'm not going to be able to make it up there in time.
Yeah.
Or down there in time.
But it's like I have now got a system going where I go if I have an early game, I can make it up by noon. But if I have like an afternoon game, like a noonish game, I make sure I go Saturday night. And it just happens that make sure I also get my cigarettes if I have to, because I can't get menthol cigarettes in this day anymore because, they're addicting the children. The whole menthol is a flavored cigarette, and it's going to make children smoke.
Oh,
even though they have whipped cream alcohol being sold at the convenience stores.
Having to go to the different state to get the menthol cigarettes.
Yeah.
Yeah, remember, Smitty went out to get menthols and never came home.
He almost got lost doing it, too.
I forgot the milk.
Travis doesn't understand the inside joke behind that one.
It's his dad, Tim.
Yeah, no. Dad kept coming back for more. All right, guys. Is there anything else you want to talk about? Because we covered everything I want to talk about.
No, I'm good, sir.
I think that's it. I mean, there's not really much going on. It's still a lot of training camps. And the one thing, there's reports that, who is it? Matt Ryan, Marcus Mariota, Deshaun Watson are all going to play at least some of this preseason games coming up. Did any of those ones surprise you?
Mariota, I understood. Who else was it? Matt
Ryan for Indy.
I can only see. Game 3 doesn't count as because that's the dress rehearsal.
No, they're going to be playing this weekend.
Really?
This week, yes. They're going to be starting for
Matt
at least
Ryan,
a series or two.
Yes. Matt Ryan, because he is a starting quarterback. He is a top tier quarterback. Well, he used to be at least.
He still is. He willed that team to those wins this past year.
He really did.
He did.
He won in defiance of their head coach, basically.
Yes.
I think Indianapolis. You know what? I'm not going to discuss about what I think about teams right now. We're going to do that on that. That's going to be the best show.
Yeah. We're discussing on those teams having those newly acquired players.
I'm kind of surprised that Matt Ryan's going to play week 1 of the preseason. Now, if it was week 2 or 3, that would make more sense. But not week 1.
I don't think it makes. I'm not surprised by it at all. I'm surprised more players don't play the first few drives of the week 1 game.
Right, because Jeremy, you made a really good point. If you want your player who's going to start to be on the team and be able to do stuff in live action, you've got to put them in preseason games.
Yeah, you have your ones go out there for the first drive or first quarter or something, and they go full go. Yeah. And that way because you can practice as hard as you want. You can tell them it's game speed, but till you get out there in a game against another team in a game setting, even those the combined practices with other teams, you still don't get that same kind of speed and intensity that you get on a game with the refs and whatnot because the whole atmosphere is different.
Oh, don't I know it? Because I got a bunch of 8-year-olds and trying to get ready for Jamboree in 2 weeks. Not this weekend, but next weekend. And they just starting hitting, and they are not understanding. When we tell you to hit something full speed, it means full speed. As hard as you can, as fast as you can.
And that's what they told Frank Gore, and next thing you know, he's dragging a girl across the parking lot.
I'm pretty sure nobody told him that he needed to go that hard.
These damn running backs, man. What's it?
All those hits to the head.
Probably.
No, at least that was the old excuse.
Oh, it still is the excuse for anyone that's played.
True. Very true. All right. So we want to call tonight? Go finish watching the end of the fourth quarter of the Pats game?
Let's call it tomorrow.
All right, let's call it tomorrow.
Tonight? I just called tonight.
Did he answer?
Nope.
That didn't play through the right thing.
Try it again.
Why didn't that play through? Oh, that's playing default. That explains that. Hold on.
Nothing. I hearing a thing.
Bye, everybody.
That's all, folks.
See ya.